season on Garden Steps, we looked at a variety of different techniques and procedures, all designed to help you have good success with your garden this year. Now, we're going to round it out by looking at site assessment. We're going to look at an older landscape in a future segment, and obviously this is a new one. Okay, one of the most important things to look at as we assess the site is the soil. And on a new landscape, it's very common to have heavy clay, and that's what this really sticky material is. So we're going to have to deal with that. But first of all, it's important to document the fact that you have that with the soil test. And it's important to look at that from a variety of zones, in the turf as well as in the ornamental beds. And even if you have a vegetable garden, keep those areas separate. Once you collect the soil samples, and you'll need about a pint of soil, take it to a soil testing lab and take those soil samples in, and then you'll get a readout as to how fertile or unfertile it is and all the different aspects of the soil. The next thing to look at is exposure. And even in a new landscape, there can be lots of little nooks and crannies and little pieces of what we call microclimate. But the big thing to consider in a new landscape is the full sun exposure to the elements and the full wind exposure to the elements. It's a big driving force in terms of plant survivability. And speaking of exposure, a critical element of that is sun and shade. Now let's look at this situation here in this ground bed. Over here we've got some pretty heavy shade, and right down here by my feet, pretty heavy sun and a pretty sharp line in between, which is really important to consider when you go to choose plant material. Next time on Garden Steps, we're taking a good look at an older landscape and all the specific conditions there.